Hello, Ken Utley here. We're going to take this time to learn a little bit about the importing of database capabilities within the SIMSIII for Windows. To get this going, we're simply going to go down here, from System, go to Import Data. I'll pull the window back over and completely into view, and this brings up a database importing window. Now the good thing to learn about this is all the capabilities that you may import from a CSV file. When doing a database conversion, one of the items is to try to get that database into a CSV file that can be imported into Excel. The database can be easily manipulated to modify event codes, modify the way the contact list looks. All kinds of different things can be done when your database people have it in Excel. And then after they've made their corrections, they can export that database back into the CSV format for importing into your central station data. At this point in time, I'm going to bring out a couple of things that I think are worth noting. For example, if we wanted the headers for all of the zones, I can create a stencil. This header information is very important because this is the header that must be in the CSV file. Does not have to be in this order, but the names must match what is expected. That way the database can be placed into the proper field in each one of the accounts. From here, of course, that you can export it straight into the CSV file or export it to a file and then actually type the names in yourself manually. But again, the important thing to take away from this is these are the field names. They're available for each one of the imports, and this is what's going to allow you to get the database wherever you want it. Okay, now let's assume for a minute we're going to import the account main part. Let's go looking for our database. Here are several CSV files that make up a typical database import. The contacts, the dealers, the master file or account file main, the zones. There could be equipment, there could also be video information, doesn't really matter, could be global contacts or global phone numbers, but the point of it is you can come and select these now. In this case, I'm going to select master, which would be the main account main information. Now, keeping in mind the header should match the database that we're going to be importing. If for some reason I get confused, I click import the account main database while I have zones selected, it will bring up a screen and identify the columns that are expected and that are missing. All columns do not have to be there, but the right ones but the columns that are there must be the right ones. So we're going to say no, we don't want to continue, but what I am going to then is re-click account main, and I'm going to begin the import process. The import process is a very quick process. In this case, this is for about 5,000 accounts. It'll pull that database in there very, very quickly and then present it up in the list view. Once in the list view, we can create these accounts simply by clicking Create. Now it's loading these accounts that were in the CSV file directly into the SIMS database. Whether on the existing file system or SQL, the process is the same. While this is going, we can also take a few moments and discuss some of the others. This is the dealer information, the global phone numbers, schedules. In fact, we're going to do the schedule example in just a couple of moments. Contacts, zones, and etc. This is a fairly fast process. We've already probably done 4,000 of the ones that we're importing here. These actually now have been placed into the database, and so once we get the accounts in the database, then we're in a position to add zones and contacts and schedules and so forth like that. I should have taken a moment and said make sure that you do your system backup before you start importing data. I expect no errors, but a good prevention plan is always good. Now let's go browse and get the schedules. Again, click on Schedules, import the data. Now we have the schedules in there. Now we're going to load the schedules in. Schedules are a great one to modify while you're in CSV format. You can change the open type, you can change the different flags that are involved with the whole thing. It's a really sweet way to go about it. Now, once I've got the database actually loaded, we're all done. The only other thing that might be left is a quick sort if you're in SIMSIII or SIMSIII for Windows. If you're in the SQL database, no sort is required. Okay, that gives you an excellent idea of how to import database into the SIMSIII for Windows.